Pendulums are invisible energy structures created by the collective thoughts, emotions, and behaviors of groups of people. They're like living entities, feeding on human energy to keep themselves alive. These energetic entities are all around you all the time. Sort of like in the movie The Matrix, when Neo enters into the simulation, anyone can be an agent if they haven't been unplugged yet. That concept has tremendous overlap with our reality as well. In fact, I did a full breakdown on the movie The Matrix in a previous video. If you want to go watch that, tap somewhere on this screen. But in a sense, any collective thought form fueled by emotional energy is a pendulum, and you don't have to struggle too hard to see how they play out. Governments are pendulums, religions are pendulums, corporations, jobs, social movements, social media itself, celebrities, news media outlets, sports teams, the music industry, politics, schools and universities, even relationships between people, etc., etc. Whenever groups of people emotionally focus on the same idea, a pendulum is created. And make no mistake, the vast majority of pendulums are negative, meaning they sabotage your life force and knock you out of the wave of good fortune. Now, to be clear, not all pendulums are strictly negative. Some can actually support your alignment with the wave of good fortune. This video you're watching right now is a pendulum, in that there's like an energetic exchange between you and I. Certain books and communities and thought forms that elevate your awareness and mastery have positive impacts on your reality. But make no mistake, most pendulums you encounter daily are negative because they only exist to distract, distort, and divide your relationship to your world, like energetic vampires draining your life force. The key here is not to avoid pendulums altogether, because that is impossible. Unless you're going to live in a cabin in a mountain by yourself and have no contact with the outside world, which most of you who say you want that, you're just on a low vibrational frequency, you will always encounter pendulums. Rather, the key to avoiding the negative influence of pendulums is becoming aware of how you react to them. Anytime you lose sight of your own life's goals, you can be sure that a pendulum is taking your energy. Whenever you feel a sense of guilt and shame about a specific movement, like you're bad for not blindly following along with the collective sentiment, there is a pendulum. Anytime you find yourself endlessly defending, fighting, or arguing about something, a pendulum is there. Anytime you feel a sense of fear or disempowerment as it relates to your life's trajectory, a pendulum is stealing your energy. And this is precisely why pendulums are so dangerous. Unless you're consciously monitoring your reactions and responses and being observant of where your energy and attention are being directed, you have no idea who or what is controlling you. And the truth is, most pendulums I listed earlier are consistently weaponizing reality to keep you distracted. Because if you stop paying attention to them, the thought form itself loses all momentum. Think about that. News media headlines aggressively pump fear and hysteria to keep viewers emotionally hooked and in survival. Politicians manufacture enemies to rally support for their campaigns, when behind closed doors, they're all on the same team. Luxury brands engineer false exclusivity and scarcity, when in truth, it's just good marketing, causing you to feel left out or insignificant if you don't own a certain item. In reality, the quality of the item does not match the price disparity. The shirt from Louis V is maybe 30–40% better quality than a shirt from H&M, but the Louis V shirt is 30x the price. It's not about the events or the circumstances or the items themselves, but it's the emotional hook that feeds your negative reactive energy. It's all intentionally designed to knock you out of the wave of good fortune. Because if you're constantly triggered, upset, and chasing validation, you defer your own power over to the pendulums. When your power is deferred to the pendulums, you stay trapped in cycles of scarcity, survival, struggle, and drama. However, your knowledge of this breaks the pattern. Becoming aware of the deeper energetic triggers is what frees you to dedicate your attention to aspects of reality that do support you in the manifestation of your highest desires. Because once you become consciously aware of who and what is taking your energy, you can deploy the one defense against all pendulums that seek to sabotage you. The one quality that gives you complete sovereignty over your energy is indifference. Stop reacting. Starve the pendulums by withdrawing all negative reactions and responses. Observe the pendulums, but do not fight them. Ignore them emotionally and turn your attention towards aspects of reality that do align with your life's goals. That's it. That's the literal difference between the conscious souls who stay in a winning frequency and the unconscious souls who get stuck in low vibrational frequencies. Pendulums control unconscious people. Conscious people control their own reality. Once this perspective is embodied, you will have the willpower and the energetic bandwidth to focus on your own goals and attract positive pendulums that uplift you into your most aligned frequency. Indifference is the difference. And in order to truly embody indifference, I will now reveal to you the most crucial section in reality transurfing. If you didn't understand the rest of this book and simply only got this one concept down, it's enough to accelerate you into exceptional realities where the wave of good fortune literally becomes real for you. The manifestation of your most preferred reality is contingent upon you mastering part 4, importance and balancing forces. Importance is the root cause of all imbalance in life. When you make something important, whether it's success, money, love, status, or anything else you desire, you create excess potential, which triggers balancing forces to push away the thing that you want. Elevated importance levels create a labyrinth around your reality where you feel stuck in a maze and can't seem to find the exit. This lostness and confusion turns your reality into a complicated puzzle that you can't seem to solve, causing you to doubt yourself and your worthiness in relation to your desires. That disorientation, where you feel like every time you turn a corner there's this towering wall over you, is what I call the maze of manifestation. Think about that. You've experienced some version of this before. If you're a conscious entrepreneur like many of my clients are, you've had a moment where you were absolutely certain that you were about to have a record quarter. You felt like your marketing was on point, like your team was dialed in, and everything was set for takeoff. But then what happened? Some unexpected setbacks sabotaged your progress. Maybe it was a business partner who stole money, or a key employee quit, or you confidently launched your new product only to have lackluster sales. What you thought was going to be a big breakthrough moment turned out to be more disappointment, and it made you feel like you were doing something wrong. Believe it or not, that had nothing to do with your worthiness as a person or how hard you worked. The energetic reason for why it didn't work out is because importance was out of balance, and balancing forces neutralize the energy by fulfilling your worst expectations. High importance creates an energetic imbalance in your field of reality, and whenever that excess potential accumulates, balancing forces have no choice but to mitigate the energy by pushing away the very thing you want. The universe seeks neutrality and equilibrium at all times. And anytime you assign excessive significance to yourself or to your goals, you can be sure that your universe will respond by mitigating your desires when the scales tilt too far into pedestalizing the outcome. Importance can be attributed to any and all categories of life, and it carries a general sentiment of obligation and rigidity in regards to receiving your manifestations. In romantic relationships, for example, you've probably had that experience before where you meet someone new and exciting. You fall head over heels for them and begin projecting qualities and characteristics onto them that they don't actually have, and you unconsciously place them on a pedestal. You start clinging, needing their validation, needing them to fulfill the image you created in your own head. And before you know it, they disappoint you as the relationship deteriorates. Now there's no trust, and you're left heartbroken and confused about what happened. Or perhaps you were intentional about landing your dream job. You applied for an important position, and the pressure starts to build. You show up to the interview hoping to make a good impression, careful to not say the wrong thing and appear like you have it all together. The interviewer can feel that energy, the perfectionist trying too hard to make themselves appear perfect. You were perfectly qualified for the position, but because you put too much pressure on the interview, you sabotage your chances and lose out on your dream job. And you can extrapolate these examples to all circumstances in reality where the perceived worst outcome was realized. Think about it. That is importance reaching excess levels and balancing forces restoring equilibrium accordingly. I want you to write this down and remember this forever. If you're desperate for love, you'll push it away. If you're desperate for money, you'll block financial abundance. If you're obsessed with success, you'll encounter endless obstacles. Anytime there is great importance, it is actually fear disguised as care or ambition. You fear not having your way or doubt that with an adequate amount of effort, your goals will materialize. And so the mind, in a desperate attempt to control reality, overcompensates and clutches tighter to force the outcome. And I can go on and on about this, but at this point you probably get it. And you're probably thinking, okay, Jose, how do I reduce importance and restore neutrality before excess potential sabotages my manifestations? And the answer to this is so intuitively simple. Here it is. Normalize your goals. Take them off the pedestal. Stop taking yourself and your reality too seriously. That's it. No, seriously, that's literally all there is to it. The truth is that the world doesn't owe you anything. And just because you work really hard towards a certain goal and want it really bad, doesn't mean the universe is going to automatically grant it. Reality is a game of frequency first and logic second. And the sooner you embody this perspective, the sooner you will manifest exceptional outcomes with ease. Because here's the deeper truth that no one has told you yet. What you want is neither rare nor as valuable as you think it is. It's natural. It's normal. Someone out there in the world already has precisely what you desire, and they're not smarter or more deserving than you are. They either consciously or unconsciously have reduced all importance and simply allow themselves to receive. And spoiler alert, there is a sector within the space of variations where you have it as well. Now, to truly reduce importance and restore balance, I want you to think about all of your manifestations like this. When you go to get mail from your mailbox, do you struggle to do it? Are you having to pump yourself up with affirmations and mantras to open the letterbox and get the mail? No, absolutely not. You just open it and get the mail. That's it. That's how you treat all of your goals and manifestations. The love you desire, the success, money, status, freedom, etc. They are all as natural, normal, and as accessible as you walking to your mailbox and opening it. The key is to be carefree and lighthearted towards your goals and manifestations. This relaxed state, like a divine confidence, is the frequency with which the timelines containing your highest manifestations naturally flow to you. And at the intersection of a carefree mental attitude and a strong intention, your desired reality is naturally realized. You shift your focus away from chasing the goal and proving yourself to living out the destiny that naturally unfolds from the goal. You're intentional about your manifestations, yet detached to how and when they show up. This frequency is what collapses the walls of the labyrinth that importance put you in, where you effortlessly exit the maze into timelines of freedom and success. The less you control, the more reality meets you halfway in the manifestation of your desires, and you paradoxically gain control over everything. Now, once importance is mastered, you activate the most magical acceleration tool that creates the vibrational momentum necessary for you to genuinely transurf into the timelines that reflect your winning experience.